Hey, I'm Kai, and today I'm going to be checking out Heartwood's pedal bundle featuring their full range of guitar effects pedals. In case you didn't know already, Heartwood are Gear4Music's house brand. They typically produce a wide range of different electric guitars, however they also have 4 effects pedals in their lineup. This is a sponsored video as Gear4Music have sent me out this pedal bundle to check out free of charge. I also have an affiliate link available down below if you'd like to purchase these pedals for yourself. Let's start by getting them unboxed. So the most logical place to start with this is going to be the power supply. So here's the power supply. It's quite a nice, thin, low profile sort of thing with a good amount of outputs on it. It also comes with all of the cables you need to get up and running, including the 9-volt cables as well as the power cable. So here is our great big bundle of 9-volt cables. We also have a voltage doubler, I believe, as well as European plug and UK plug. Now this main brick is actually going to be the power for the supply itself, so let's get that one plugged in. I am going to preemptively get a couple of these 9-volt cables ready for when I check out some of the pedals later on. This bundle also does come with a packet of patch cables, but these are these super low quality multicolored ones that you'll find pretty much anywhere. These cost £5 on Gear4Music's website, so don't expect them to be amazing, but do expect them to hold up just enough. Let's also unbox the pedals. The first one is going to be the Santa Fe Fuzz. Let's take a look at that one on the B cam quickly, just so I can show you what that's all about. The next one I have here is the Beartooth Distortion pedal. Let's get that unboxed. And again, I'll show you this on the B cam. Next, we have the Blue Ridge Overdrive pedal. Let's take a look at that as well. This one's a little bit harder to see on the B cam actually, but we'll carry on. Then finally, we have the Collinsville Chorus pedal. Also, just going to quickly show that one on the B cam. There we go. So this bundle is called the Heartwood Guitar Effects Pedal and PSU Pack. It includes their power supply as well as the cables that you need to get everything up and running. The power supply is listed on their website as having isolated outputs, however this doesn't really mean too much in the world of budget power supplies, as that can sometimes just mean as an alternative to a one-spot daisy chain sort of thing, each output is individual. I'm going to hold this one under heavy scrutiny and see if any noise issues pop up throughout this video. Actually, if this power supply does work nicely for me, I think it's going to be one that I'll be able to keep on my desk for all of my pedal videos going forward, as it'd be super handy to have around. Currently I'm running a 3-meter cable right from my pedal board behind me all the way up to the front of my desk so I can get an extra sort of slot on the power there, and it's working, but it's a bit cumbersome to deal with. As for the outputs on this power supply, we have 6 100 mA 9-volt outputs, we have 2 300 mA 9-volt outputs, and 2 500 mA 9-volt outputs. It's also got 12-volt and 18-volt outputs, so you should be covered for most eventualities. As far as the bundle goes so far, I think the cables are the only thing that's really bringing it down at the minute, but we'll see how they fare later on. In terms of value for money, the pedals are £30 each on the website, the power supply is £60, and the cables are £5. So you're getting a £185 bundle for £130. As far as I can tell, none of these pedals are unique to Heartwood, they're all just rehousings of other pedals that are available. This has been a very common practice for many years now, sort of starting with brands taking from Moa. In fact, 60 Cycle Hum has probably reviewed these same pedals 15 different times just in different enclosures. I really do like the look of these Heartwood pedals though. I think as far as rehousings go, they picked a really nice enclosure to go for, really nice fonts, layouts and everything. It just looks a lot cleaner than some of the more budget brands. The Beartooth Distortion is based on the Rat pedal, I think the Blue Ridge is based on a Blues Breaker, the Santa Fe is going to be a Fuzz Face, and the Collinsville is a Boss CE2 Chorus. I think the order we should go in here is actually going to be Overdrive, Fuzz, Distortion, and then Chorus. I don't always stick to the traditional pedal order, I'll normally shuffle things around a bit, but for the purposes of this video I'm going to stick to what is correct. Let's get this one all hooked up and then we'll listen to it. One thing I should say here, it's always good to double check the milliamp ratings of each pedal before you start blindly plugging stuff in, but I'm going to say that all of the distortion pedals are going to be absolutely fine on 100 milliamps, and I'll put the chorus through a 300 milliamp output just to be safe. It's currently set up as a little bit of a mess, but hopefully you can still see everything that's going on. For the demo portion of this video, I'll quickly dial one tone in for each pedal, and then pair some of them together and see how they work. For the rig, I've got my PRS S2 in drop C, running through all of these pedals, then into the front end of the Marshall DSL-20, then into the Sur-reactive load and out to my interface. In my DAW, I'm running the ML SoundLab Mars TV Mix Steep Impulse Response. I've got the amp set mostly clean, however the DSL-20 doesn't have a ton of headroom, so this does get pretty distorted pretty fast. We'll run it in gain order, and I'll just show you my clean tone first. I'm not noticing any immediate hiss, hum or anything like that running through these pedals, so at least in bypass everything's sounding clean. Let's hear the Collinsville chorus first. Okay, I am getting a little bit of buzz and rattle from the Collinsville chorus, but it does have a nice chorus sound to it. Let's hear the Blue Ridge Overdrive next. I'm a huge fan of Bluesbreaker style circuits as they're really good for indie rock riffs. Let's hear what this is up to. Okay, that's pretty good. That's a very generic sounding overdrive that just boosts your amp up into a nice crunchy territory. Next up is the Beartooth Distortion, and if this is anything like the real Rat pedal, it should have a wide range of gain available from boost to overdrive to distortion to fuzz. As suspected, that does the Rat thing, goes up from an overdrive to a completely blown out doomy fuzz. Enjoying that one for sure. Lastly, we'll hear the Santa Fe, and I'm very curious to hear what this one is like. One thing I have heard about fuzz face circuits is that they're supposed to clean up a little bit when you roll the volume knob back. That one's definitely not rolling back to a nice clean tone, but it does give a nicer range of gain. I'd say the fuzz face isn't currently my favourite offering here, as it doesn't have a tone control that I really find that I need, especially with a guitar with no tone knob. Let's now pair some of them up and stack them together and see what we can come up with. The first thing I want to try is the Beartooth distortion into the Collinsville chorus, going for a grungy lead sort of thing. Something's definitely up with the Collinsville chorus. It's almost like an echo rather than a chorus at the minute. Either way, let's hear it with the Beartooth distortion and then kick on the Collinsville halfway through. Okay, that's definitely interesting. Pushing the gain up a little further, I want to try the Blue Ridge drive into the Beartooth distortion. We are of course getting noise there, but that is very typical when you're running stacked gain pedals like this. Let's also hear if I can darken up the Santa Fe fuzz by boosting it with the Blue Ridge with the tone turned back a little bit. I may also kick the Collinsville on again halfway through. I'm going to have one final play around with all of them and just see if anything else happens to come out. Okay, I've dialed them all in, let's hear everything stacked. I did have a couple of things on a checklist that I wanted to make sure were in order when I was demoing these pedals. The first one being noise. With a budget power supply, noise is a very, very valid concern to have. I'm fairly happy to say that this didn't introduce any noise into my rig that wouldn't have been there on a clean power supply. The range of tones overall on this bundle is pretty good, I'd say. It can cover most gain tones, certainly. I think where it's lacking is more of the wet effects. I personally probably would have ditched the fuzz face style pedal and added something like a delay or a reverb instead. This is mainly because the Beartooth pedal can handle everything from overdrive to distortion to fuzz, so it could pretty much cover all of those grounds if you needed it to, and currently we have no wet effects. These pedals all work well together and they work well with the power supply. The cables all seem to be working so far, so it does work as a bundle. However, it feels more like part of a pedal board than a full pedal board. I think if it was half the size of power supply instead, and maybe included a tuner and a pedal board, this would be a much more cohesive set. Currently, it does almost feel like a bit of a random bundle, but I do understand that this is just a package of everything that Hart would make with a heavy discount on top. Even if you took every single component from this and shopped around until you found a competitively priced version, you'd still be about that same budget. You probably wouldn't want to spend any less money on the power supply especially, and the pedals you could probably only find for £5 to £10 less each. So buying them all together in this great big bundle does make a lot of sense. It does feel like a really good value for money so far. I think that if you were buying this bundle as a starter pack for playing guitar, you'd probably also want to grab yourself a clip-on tuner and a basic pedal board. So thank you ever so much for sticking around to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I will leave all of the relevant affiliate links in the description box down below, including ones to the individual pedals, power supply, cables, all that stuff, and the bundle. That is everything that I've got for this video though, so thank you so much for watching. I've been Kai.